Hey guys, Mal here, and today we're going to take a look at the Giant Excavator Monument. For those that haven't seen it yet, welcome to the biggest, most interactive, and insanely profitable monument in the game. This behemoth of a monument requires at least 10% rad protection, so if you can at least get a burlap set going, you should be all good as far as radiation goes. I'm not entirely sure I can say the same about the 17 scientists that will be waiting there for you. We ran a few tests and it seems like they have a longer respawn timer than the oil rig scientists, so you can most likely wait until a group finishes using it and sneak in for a bit. There are some loot crates dotted around the place, nothing too crazy, and no puzzles as far as we can see. That being said, the main point of this new monument is still to come. First, you need to get to the engine room. You put the new diesel fuel into the tank here, and then you run up here and turn it on. Be warned that the entire monument has just lit up and come to life. There will likely be people coming to counter, so keep an eye out. Now quickly make your way down to either of the control rooms at the front of the monument. Use the control panel and set it to whatever resource you're wanting it to farm. Keep in mind that you can only have it set to one resource at a time, so if you start on stone and then swap it to metal, you'll have some stone and some metal, but it can't gather both at once. As soon as you select what you want it to farm, the excavator will get to work and start mining away for you. So to go along with the place being lit up, you now have the entire front half of the massive monument waving around and mining. Oh, and in case you haven't seen it in the engine room yet, there is a frequency code written on the wall. Anyone can set up a simple alarm so they'll know from their base, or wherever they are, that someone is doing the event. Funnily enough, I've done a video covering how to set such an alarm up. It should hopefully be on the screen right about now, and I'll put it in the description too. The only other thing that's worth mentioning before we hit the looting spots is the recycler. It's up to you whether you want to do your scrap runs here. Personally, I'm going to hold off until I see how this monument plays out in an actual proper wipe. Now the excavator will eat roughly 1 diesel every 2 minutes or so. Once you're out of fuel or ready to leave, you'll need to stop by the 2 separate loot spots to collect all the resources that it has been farming. Speaking of all that farm, how much are we really talking about? Gal and I ran some tests and did a few calculations. 1 diesel can be reliably purchased from the outpost for 300 low grade. That 1 diesel at the excavator can get you 2,800 stone, 1,400 metal frags, 500 sulfur, or 40 high qual. Those numbers might seem kinda small, but when you bring along a few drums of diesel, the numbers add up quickly. There are also alternatives for obtaining the diesel that won't set you back low grade. A good example being the large oil rig, which at the time that we stopped by to test it, was spawning 2 barrels. There are supposedly other spawns at other monuments, but we couldn't find them while testing it on staging. Also, while we don't necessarily condone it, if there are any groups out there that are thinking about compounding the new shiny monument, we crunched the numbers. The build restriction area on this monument is actually pretty substantial. Because of this, the cost is actually pretty high, and these figures only include doing a layer of high walls around the entire thing. We used over 200 high walls and 1 stone gate to compound it. That's over 300,000 stone, which means you'll need 110 barrels of diesel and 3.6 hours of time for the excavator to farm all of the stone that it needs for the compound walls. Honestly, I know that most people are seeing those numbers and wondering why I'm even bothering, but I guarantee you that people are 100% going to compound this thing off. It makes farming any of the core resources absurdly easy, as well as the loot from the scientists, your own private recycler, etc. Also, please keep in mind that the figures may be adjusted by the time you actually get to the excavator. This was all tested and recorded on the staging branch close to the patch being dropped, so while it should be correct, they might have made some last minute changes to it. If that's the case, we will update the description of the video to include the changes. Anyway, that's all from me for now. Let me know what you think about this new monument in the comments. If you liked the vid, hit the thumbs up to let me know, and if you're new around here, subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.